Yo, what's good, Bills Mafia? It's Stevie Johnson, and you're in the sit down with my man Sauce God. Go Bills. Yo, what's good?
The Sit Down is presented by Duff's Famous Wings, live on Facebook, YouTube, and X.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, you're live here in the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment podcast right here on Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. And you're live here with the Sauce God at Buffalo Sauce God across all social media platforms. And also with new guests appearing today, Jason Lake. We'll be live here in just a few moments, so please do us a favor, hit that like and share. Join us in the comments because Bills Mafia, it is time to get hyped. The Sit Down is back. Bills football is back. And we have a lot to discuss right here in the Sit Down. Yes, here we are, live here in the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment podcast covering your beloved Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres, all things Buffalo. Of course, I'm the Sauce God at Buffalo Sauce God across all social media platforms. We're live here on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Actually, there's an error with X because apparently now you have to have a premium account to go live. It's brand new in the last month. So, hey, whatever you guys aren't able to watch on Twitter, it doesn't matter. You can watch on Facebook, on my page, Anthony Bomasudo, and on YouTube, as I said, at Buffalo Sauce God. Make sure you're subscribed with those notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the live coverage of the Buffalo Bills or any of the episodes of the Sit Down, which will also be available via audio podcast the following day of this airing on Facebook and YouTube. So today I have a little bit of a change up. You know, I haven't been here in like a month to discuss football. I kind of wanted to take a little break. It's off season. Preseason's been here. I've been able to observe a few things, and obviously we still have one game remaining. But today I have a bit of a change. I have Jason Lake joining me today as my co-host. It's actually I believe, your first time on a podcast, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I've never done this. I've had a lot of people told me to, start one. I got a voice for radio type of thing, but never had the avenue or the real means, I guess, to do it. So I'm definitely excited to join up with you here and kind of add my voice and my flavor to the show, bro.
So I think this is a good opportunity for everybody out there watching to get to know you a little bit. Obviously, I've gotten a chance to get to know you a little bit. I've seen you at the Stevie Johnson event last year, and then we had that card trade. Obviously, this guy right here is great in the world of memorabilia, especially Buffalo Bills. I'm going to give you a chance to talk about that. So, Jason, talk to me about what you got going on, what's going on with Zubaz. Let the people know who you are and what's going on.
I'm the owner of Zubaz Zone 716, sports memorabilia, card shop, collectible store in Depew, New York on Transit Road. I've been doing this business, been open almost 4 years now at this point. Did it for years before that, obviously. And then, opportunity came about to open up my own shop. So we kind of jumped on the opportunity here and opened up the store, and it's been rocking, like I said, almost 4 years now.
I mean, it's pretty damn cool. Obviously, I see how active you are in the world of Facebook marketplaces, of card pages, and I honestly, it's cool to see because I have a little bit of experience with the cards as well. But obviously, you're a big time Bills fan. What is it that makes you really feel so passionate about the Buffalo Bills? And what makes you exactly really truly Bills Mafia?
I've been a fan since I was a child, man. My dad and my uncle had season tickets, and every Sunday was gathering then with the rest of the family and just watching the games. And I grew up through that whole heyday of the 4 Super Bowls and all of that stuff. And it really just kind of sucked you in. And I'm born and raised here, obviously, in West Seneca. And it's just I don't know, man. It's just something about the fan base and the town. I moved away from the area even and came back, and it's hard to stay away from here. Everybody calls it mafia, and everybody wants to talk about it wrong, like you're using it, but it really just means family. Ultimately comes down to it. We're all just a big family. This team is not represented like any other team. Like you go anywhere across the country, you'll find a Bills backers bar, things like that. You're not coming to New York and finding a Dallas Cowboys backers bar, things like that.
Look at the previous preseason game in Pittsburgh. You're seeing tons of Bills fans at a preseason game.
We travel better.
Yeah.
Right. Travel better than any other team. We represent harder than any other team out there. And it's just that passion drove me to it, the collecting of the memorabilia, going to the games as a kid and everything in that regard. I got an extensive collection of cards and memorabilia and autograph things. So kind of wanted to bring that man cave to the mainstream was my motto when we opened. Kind of help people build their man caves, and I got autographed items and display pieces and jerseys and frame things and minis and full-size helmets, all that stuff. And I'm going to be doing something cool to really implement the trading card in here too, because that's a huge market right now. I haven't been able to put as solid a footprint on it.
Now, I still have a Whatnot account. I haven't been very active with it, but man, you never know. We might have to get active with it in the future. But if you guys are just now tuning in, this is the Sit Down, a sports entertainment podcast right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, on also available via audio podcast the following day. This is presented by BuffaloSauceGod.com and Duff's Famous Wings, where you have to remember that medium is hot. You don't have to ask for them extra crispy. Go to the original on Sheridan Drive. Duff Sauce God sent you. I'm going to tell you what, 10 out of 10 chicken wings every fucking time. Duff's. And guys, we're going to play a little introduction video right here in the sit down. We'll be back here in just a minute and a half with Sauce God and Jason.
Let's get this over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's simple, baby. Buffalo Bills football is heck, all right? And we tell you something.
I'm gonna crack a cold one because since it's a tailgate.
Ooh, ice cold, Mike. Let me tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are live here in the Sit Down with Sauce God, the sports and entertainment show.
I'm whipping the sauce, I'm tripping, of course, I want it all. All of my dogs be running with guard. Your mama, you holding your pennies and bra. Cause when I get whipping the sauce, you taking it off. I'm dancing on tracks like stuff in the yard. We keeping it quiet, we moving in signs. But now we starting to riot, yeah. Keeping my eye on the prize. I got me a queen, we riding like Bonnie and Clyde. Trips to Dubai, the way I be blessing. I'm destined for changing my decimals. Decibels hitting the wave and rapping incredible. Splitting their head like a cantaloupe edible. Got me so high, I'm touching the sky. Of course, I give it my all. I'm whipping the sauce, kicking the door. But then we been here before. She ain't involved, well, she ain't involved. Taking my shot, even the down, we tying the score. Do your dance and now twist, don't stress, don't trip. Whipping sauce real quick, stay dripping. Sipping on cognac, roll tea in my veins, but you find that I'm whipping it, watch it get saucy.
How you doing it?
I'm twisting and mixing and shaking them haters right off me.
What you doing?
You're live here in the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment podcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. Tuning in with us right now is John Robert in the comments, as always, longtime viewer and a great guy who is very knowledgeable. He says he's ready to see Buffalo Joe play against the Panthers. I'm sure that is a very popular take at this present moment. So if you guys haven't already done so, please do me a favor. Hit that react button, hit the share button. Also, join us here in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, following with your notifications turned on so you don't miss the sit down or any of the coverage of the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports coming from myself, the Sauce Guy, your source for sports entertainment and daily entertainment, everything Buffalo. Concerned about the Buffalo QB also. Okay, I see you there, buddy. He says backup quarterback. Okay. I mean, it's something that I think is got to be said, but we're going to get in all that here in just a bit. We have a jam-packed show. Featured with me today is Jason Lake, my guy. We got to get you a nickname. I'm not going to dub you a nickname right now, but I'm sure at some point it's going to hit me because that's how it goes. But Jason, man, overall, just give me one word to sum up the Bills' first 2 preseason games.
To sum it up, I mean, let me think. Give me a thought for a quick second here. I guess I would probably say learning. You know, being that the guys are all just kind of learning at this, I really look at them first 2 games as kind of scrimmages. So from that aspect, I would say just kind of a learning thing right now, man. They're just trying to get their feet wet a little bit. We got a lot of new guys on the team. So I think they kind of just need to kind of learn and kind of put themselves in that aspect. That's
a great word to sum it up. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, this is a team that is now without so many people that were a part of the core of the team. I'm talking Tre'Davious White. I'm talking Jordan Poyer. I'm talking Micah Hyde. I'm talking even Mitch Morse. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we feel those things, right? But at the same time, Tyreek Hill's not a part of the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. That's the nature of the NFL landscape where you have to, in a sense, you want to rebuild, but you don't want to be rebuilding, if you know what I mean. You want to be basically revamping your team to stay competitive to where you're still getting to the playoffs, where you're still putting yourself in a position to get a deep run in the playoffs, right? But it's not easy to do in the NFL because now look at it with all the quarterbacks that just got paid in the offseason. When those quarterbacks start getting paid, it gets a lot trickier for teams to get more talent and then to sign your star wide receiver, your star defensive end, your star linebacker. It's incredibly tough. Now, I like that you use the word learning. I think the word I'm going to go with is illusion. And when I say illusion, I'm saying that in the sense of I really believe that the Bills ain't really giving you all they got in the preseason. They're just kind of letting the guys get through it. You know what I mean? Play out there. I just really don't believe. I mean, obviously, we didn't see very much of Josh Allen in the first preseason matchup against the Bears. He went 2 for 3 or whatever. Obviously, we want him to see some action, but we don't want to risk injury. But I think the Bills are still going to perform in this regular season, and I'm excited about it. And I honestly have been – it's kind of always tough for me to sometimes get incredibly hyped up, especially after we lose a guy like Stephon Diggs and everybody's talking all this smack and this and that. But I'm happy with the fact that we moved on from Diggs because it's not because I don't like him, because he's not a good player. It's because it just wasn't the right situation anymore, and it wasn't working anymore, and it wasn't getting it done. And that's how I feel. But what do? We got guys like Khalil Shakir, who's ready to step up and have an absolutely huge role in this offense, is what I'm expecting. I mean, but you're also going to have to fight with targets for a guy like Dalton Kincaid, who I believe is going to have an absolutely incredible year, as long as he's healthy. And then now you got Keon Coleman, which people are like, oh, he's only got a couple catches. It doesn't matter. You have to play with your quarterback. There's 4 quarters in a football game. These guys aren't playing together for 4 quarters of football that is meaningful.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. Jason, tell me, what do you think right now with the situation on defense? We just lost Matt Milano, but we saw Buffalo native injuries.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern. Like, just to kind of tap into your illusion kind of comment. The whole Diggs thing was an illusion. They kind of had us all snowed. They all said everything is honky-dory and these guys love each other and, they're jumping on each other's back or it's the greatest thing, but it wasn't. It was all an illusion. They played all of us, everybody that's, I feel bad invested into Diggs memorabilia and all this because obviously there was a problem. You a $30 million divorce right there. So that's a touch on that.
Beautiful way of putting it, by the way, Jason. I love that. Tom Brady, you heard that? Tom, you heard that?
So, but so my concern was the defense. I was happy to see Diggs gone. I'm okay with Gabe being gone. I think we are able to replace that and really gave Josh more weapons.
Yes.
So I wasn't too concerned about the offense, but defense big time. We lost too many guys, and now we lost our quarterback of the defense in Milano.
But, Jason, hold on. All correct points. I got to say this, though. I love how you put it with Stephon Diggs because I really do believe that we have the tools. We have the guys that are ready to play. As you saw, John Roberts said he believes that he heard Shakir will play more outside, and that's something that I heard about him as a rookie is that he had the ability to do. I've seen him go up for a 50-50 ball. And he ain't a big guy, right? But hey, I'm sure he's getting a little bit more of that practice from playing the guys next to him that are huge, like Keon Coleman and stuff like that. But let me tell you this: defensively, I understand. I love Tre'Davious White. He's my favorite Buffalo Bill. I love Josh, obviously, but Tre'Davious White was my guy because first piece of the entire franchise shifting in its culture. You know what I mean? And that was when we started to not suck. I really believe I wanted Micah Hyde back. I knew Jordan Poyer was going to probably get a decent contract to play elsewhere, and that's how it works. And Trey got paid. That's good. These guys deserve to. And at the end of the day, we have Taylor Rapp. I do like the guy, Cole Bishop, that we drafted. I know he's been hurt. We have Mike Edwards coming back from injury as well. I think our safeties are primed to perform well, and I believe that our defensive backs, you've seen Kyer Love is playing much better, and I'm pumped to say that because I'm pretty sure you had a chance to meet him too. At the Stevie Johnson thing last year. I'm not sure if you did, but got a chance to talk to him last year. And honestly, I'm pumped to see he is getting more reps and he's improving and developing. And I also love what I see out of Rasul Douglas, Aaron Johnson. I believe that Sean McDermott's got the defense ready to go with Bobby Babich, and that's what I believe. It's a big loss without Milano. If we can stay healthy with the guys that we still have out there, though, Greg Rousseau is primed to wreak havoc.
That's my man right there, Big Greg.
They're going to get paid too.
Yeah.
AJ Epinesa, he performed pretty well last year. We know that. Ed Oliver is primed to have it because we saw he performed after he got paid, so we know he's ready to fucking go. You know, and Von Miller's back. I still believe Von Miller, a healthy Von Miller, is going to be a serious impact, and
Absolutely.
I still believe he could be used for what we brought him here for.
100%.
So overall, the offense though is something that I'm really curious to see how it gets spread out because we know Stephon Diggs ain't there anymore, and that was the highest percentage of offense used on the team ever since he's been here. But we know that James Cook can ball. We've seen some good things out of Ray Davis. Ty Johnson, we know, can play too. But I heard there's a battle going on for RB2 right now. That's good. Competition. Iron sharpens iron, right? But Dalton Kincaid, man, sophomore year, he's ready to go. Dawson Knox is healthy. And Dawson Knox seems to not have any sort of frustration. He's fitting into the role of what he's got on this offense. Because if he wasn't dropping passes, Jason, I wouldn't really have a problem with Dawson Knox seeing the field more often. You know what I'm saying? But like, when Dalton Kincaid took over the starting job, when he was hurt last year, Dawson Knox started to drop things less. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Like,
well, they're two different players. You know what I mean? So you're going to you need to get what you can from Knox, and you need to get what you can from Kincaid. I think he's going to have a huge year, no doubt about it. And again, now we've got so many weapons, it's going to get spread around. Knox, I don't think is going to have the touches that he did, but again, he can be out there as an extra threat when they want to put the two tight ends out. Again, we don't even know who our starting wide receivers are. They brought in a dozen guys, and they're falling off.
Samuel is expected to play week 1. There's that. Keon Coleman, obviously, he's gonna be ready to go. I think Keon Coleman might not have a huge first game. He might. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's important for him to. I think it's important for the offense to just start building its identity. Sure. Now, let me ask you this, Jason. I'm curious if you agree with me on this take. And I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to be positive or, because I'm biased with the Bills. I really believe Josh Allen's going to have a much more efficient year this year. You might not see as many yards passing. You might because he's got guys to throw to. But I think Stephon Diggs not being there is just going to take that voice out of his head that was kind of pushing him, not forcing him. I'm not going to say he made those decisions, yes, but pushing him to make those bad decisions. Versus a guy like Khalil Shakir making way more use of his targets and more yardage over the span of the last, 10 games? You know what I mean? So do you think that Josh Allen's going to have MVP-type numbers this year?
I do, from the efficiency, like you're saying, because I definitely think with all the new weapons that he's got, he's going to be able to spread it all over. I'm super excited to see what Joe Brady brings to the table with his play calling. Again, having a running back that's solid in Cook, plus their backups. Again, we get Samuel's going to take Gabe's place. I think Coleman can take Diggs' place. We don't need – everybody wants us to get a home run guy. We don't need a home run guy. We don't need a Tyreek Hill that can grab the ball and
blast. Hits.
Huh?
We need base hits.
We do. We need to be able to throw the ball to Coleman where he catches it at 9 yards on a 10-yard play and he turns around and gets the first down. Not a Diggs who catches it at 8 yards, dances around and then falls at 7. And now we're still 3 yards short.
Who started to drop way more passes in the last half of the season last year,
right,
and fumbling the football. I mean, and I've made this point on my podcast several times before, and I'm going to say it again. You can't ask for the ball more and throw your hands up in the air when the Cincinnati playoff game, when you're literally going to have this as the last image that I have. You know what I'm saying? So I think overall, Khalil Shakir has a great head on his shoulders. I like that he paired up with Eric Moulds in the offseason. I like that Keon Coleman reached out right to Andre Reed. I think you're seeing a lot of good competition out there. I know these aren't necessarily, your number ones in Matt Collins and MVS and Tyrell Shavers.
What did Mahomes do?
But at the same time,
again,
let me ask you, can you really think of a true number one receiver on the New England Patriots when Tom Brady won all those Super Bowls? Randy Moss was there, but they didn't win a Super Bowl.
He really never had any.
That's not a number one receiver. That's a slot guy like Khalil Shakir.
Right. He never had one.
It's all about how you spread the ball around, and I think Joe Brady is primed to definitely do exactly what he wants to do with this offense. And I think what I'm also seeing out of Josh, too, it just seems like he's more relaxed and having fun and being funny again. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like he feels – it looks like he's more of his goofy self again, and I think that's pivotal because he's the leader of this team, and people have said that his teammates are definitely saying he's taken way more charge and shown way more leadership because of the absence of Stephon Diggs and the other players, and he knows that he's got to step in. I believe I thought about this the other day, Jason. You know, we've watched the Kansas City Chiefs win the last two Super Bowls, and everybody's talking about them three-peating, especially Pat Mahomes in a fucking preseason game. Does a behind-the-back pass and says it wasn't planned. Bullshit. I want people to remember this. People that say, oh, we can't win a Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes. No. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl at some point. Peyton Manning got 2 Super Bowl rings. Ben Roethlisberger also got a couple rings. Okay? So it does happen.
Rob Johnson's got a fucking ring.
It's just got to be a collective. It's got to be as a collective. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's got to be a team. Up.
And a guy like Diggs wasn't bringing the team together like you should. And again, if that's going to help to eliminate, things of that nature, to help that, I think it could help Josh to get those MVP numbers, working with this no team that he's got, and all of a sudden dude still puts up big numbers, still puts up big touchdowns, and spreads the ball to 7 dudes every game is what I kind of see happening with the weapons that he's got. Which, who are you covering? And if all of a sudden we got
efficiency over big numbers all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys game last year. How efficient was the offense? And what were Josh Allen's numbers like? 60 yards passing, you know what I'm saying? By the way, to answer John Roberts' question, I think it's really tough for me to answer it right now because we haven't been able to truly see much of a sample size out of the current receiving core.
Nothing.
We haven't been. I mean,
right.
it really offensively, we haven't done much this preseason, but I want people to remember that it's preseason. I mean, fucking the Ravens won, like, I can't tell you, I forget how many freaking preseason games in a row, like 20 something.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Well, that's why it doesn't matter. But the only downfall is it's kind of scary because they haven't had that game interaction. All you're doing is playing practice against your own guys. That's why I would like to see Josh out there with some of his new guys to see what kind of continuity. We can't wait till week 3, week 4 to finally go, cool, we found our mesh and we're now clicking. We could be 2 losses in the hole by week 4. I mean, Miami and whoever, I forget who the third game is, but
I'll say this, we got the Cardinals and we got Miami. I think the Titans, maybe, I don't know, but
yeah, I can't remember.
I can actually pull it up, but I'll tell you this, I like that we're playing Miami on a night game, thank God, because it's week 2. We all know what happened a couple years ago.
It's immediate. We go it's a Thursday night game.
And thank God, you know what I'm saying? So
right away,
I believe. Hey man, we lost to the Jets last year when we definitely shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter. All that matters is how we start playing in the middle and the end of the season, and getting into the playoffs. That's what I think is always got to be the prime focus. And hey, from there, anything's possible when you have Josh Young. But if you guys are just now tuning in, you're live here with Sauce God, and Jason, as his first time appearing here on the Sit Down Podcast, is going to be on with us Friday nights at usually 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Sometimes it changes, but this is also available via audio podcast the following day. We're live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Not actually, I keep saying that, but I'm not live on it actually. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, follow button. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Join us here in the comments. Hit that like and share. You're here in the Sit Down with Sauce God and Jason, presented by Duff's Famous Wings and BuffaloSauceGod.com, the home of Sit Down merch, Sauce God merch, and everything Buffalo and sports entertainment. So, Jason, let's switch off the Bills topic for just a brief moment because you are in the world of cards. I'm going to play a little video just because I want to get a little hype here, and I'm going to ask you a question regarding some of the rookies in this year's NFL class.
This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away. You got to get them close like this. Bada bing! Bada bing!
Hey, all you chitros out there, it's bada bing, bada boom right here in the Sit Down. So, Jason, let me ask you this. What quarterbacks are going to have good years for the NFL this year out of the rookie class?
As far as quarterback, the rookies coming up?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for J.J. McCarthy. That kid was looking like something good.
Oh, he looked fucking solid, stepping up in the pocket, man.
It's brutal, man, and that's what I kind of, and speaking from the trading card world, it's what I try to tell some of my people I deal with that, listen, these guys that are second stringers are just an injury away. We wouldn't see Brock Purdy if 2 quarterbacks went down before him. Dude was third stringer, fell into a system, and all of a sudden he's doing amazing. So as far as the up-and-coming kids, I'll tell you, more so my thoughts is I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. Obviously, yes, anybody can look good in preseason. The kid wasn't all that great out of college. I don't follow college sports a lot, so I may not be the best to diagnose the incoming crowd, I guess.
I mean, I'll make a point, but finish it. Finish your
That's
take.
all. I mean, that would be, if anything, that I've got to say about that is I'm not really sucked into the hype on that kid. I like what Bo Nix is starting to do out in Denver. Good for them if they found somebody.
What the kid in Washington, Jaden Daniels.
Good. I'm interested to see that.
And obviously, I think this goes without saying, Drake May is going to be a boss because he plays for the Patriots. You know what I mean? He's just get out. No, I've seen some decent things from the kid, but everybody needs to relax calling him the next Josh Allen. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm trying to focus somewhat on the second-year guys coming out. Like, I'd like to see something good out of Will Levis. I think a lot of these kids are getting kind of screwed these days, man. You get one shot. You didn't make it this year. Sorry, bro. You're out of here. So, like Sam Howell, if he could beat out Geno Smith out in Seattle.
He was good in the preseason game for the Hawks. I thought he was all right in Washington. I mean, hey, not a great situation.
He had a lot of rookie shit going on with his sacks and all that stuff, but the kid threw for 4,000 yards as a rookie on a dog shit team, so the potential is there if you get the right stuff.
Actually, I think Sam Howell, actually last year was his second year, I think so.
Well, let's see. I got a rookie card right here. He was 2022 draft pick.
Yeah, so he played 22 and 23. And no, because I honestly liked what I saw of him in the second year.
So is this his third season then?
Yep, but still, regardless, it's a good point.
Right.
I like what you brought up there. Caleb Williams, to me, it's the whole. First off, he won a Heisman. He had great college numbers. Don't get me wrong, and he didn't do that.
Yeah. How many times have we seen that? Guys kill it in the freaking college, and then they can't do shit once it gets to the real deal, and you play against the fucking real deal.
His athleticism and his skill set is definitely there. I just don't know if I think his attitude and his desire to win and desire to make football everything is there. Because when you're saying that you want a piece of the team's ownership when you haven't played a fucking down or even been drafted yet.
Dude, immediately turn me off of that kid. Who the fuck are you to think that you need all of this? Like, dude, you are not the next coming Tom Brady. You are not the next coming of anybody close to that to be so demanding. His arrogance completely turned me off.
If he doesn't pan out, and Justin Fields over there in Pittsburgh, who I think has a much better situation now, if that pans out that way, Chicago, what the fuck did you literally could have traded that number 1 overall pick to grab so many assets, so many draft picks. Dude, they could have bolstered the fuck up. But you know what?
Huge.
I want to take a chance on Caleb Williams, and hey, maybe he pans out. I just don't know if I see it either. But I like that you brought up Bo Nix, who is now the Denver starter at this. He beat out Jarrett Stidham. He looks solid, but again, I do like what I've seen from him. But there was a time where Nathan Peterman had fucking almost a perfect quarterback rating in the fucking preseason. You know what I'm saying? And to where it's like, oh, we're good. We got him. We could go with him. We're fine. We all right. And then we all know how exactly his first start went, and the rest is history. So overall, I think you're going to see some good value in the rookie receiver class this year. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is primed to have some good value in the world of memorabilia and sports cards. I think I'm not sure if I think Malik Neighbors, but Romo Duns, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I really think the kid for the Colts, Adonai Mitchell, he looks all right. I don't know if everybody's getting all hyped about Xavier Worthy. It's just, I don't know. But, of course, you're live here in the sit-down with Sauce God and Jason. Jason, so you are a Buffalo native and basically, right? So where exactly are you from in Buffalo? West Seneca, you said?
I was born and raised in West Seneca, man.
Now, so obviously that means you've been to several Bills games then, right?
Oh, definitely. 15 minutes. I mean, right up the road. What's that?
Where do you tailgate?
Right near the corner of Southwestern there behind Prohibition Bar, which is on that corner. Buddy of mine owns that place, so I like to kind of show him some love. So we
I might have been there once, honestly.
Yeah, it's a great place. Great food, great atmosphere and stuff. A lot of fun. They do a lot of
definitely have to meet up for a game. I'm thinking we'll definitely have to meet up for a game. Overall, I tailgated the red carpet in over there on Route 20 or whatever, Route 60.
Sure.
I mean, going past it, Tim Hortons, great fucking area to tailgate. But overall, man, Bills football is back. We do have one preseason game remaining, and we are not going to see the starters play. But this is an opportunity for us to see who is going to fill in the rest of the 53-man roster. And I think overall, there's going to be some tough choices to be made. We were just talking about the receivers that we expect to make the team. But overall, I think, this team is going to be ready to go week 1 against the Cardinals. I do want to say the Cardinals aren't necessarily supposed to be a great team or anything this year. Yeah. But Buffalo is currently favored 6 points against them. That doesn't mean nothing, guys. We got to show up week 1, and we got to prepare for to go all out. And of course, we're going to be opening it up at home. It's nice. We'll be taking off in Miami on Thursday night, the following game. Then we got the Jaguars at home in week 3. Now, that's always, the Jaguars are always fucking weird games. And I hate it. Believe me, I hate it because, yeah, don't get me started. Because back in 2021, we were a 16.5-point favorite against the fucking Jags. And immediately when I saw that spread, I go, fuck that, dude. And we had to pass it. I'm not going to go into all of it, but, dude, I hate that. So the Jaguars, who is also my buddy Kirby, who will be a guest on the podcast with us sometimes. He's a Jaguars fan and Bill supporter. He'll be here to talk a little bit about that with us as well. Nice. So, Jason, Panthers game, are you looking to see who are you looking to see maybe have a really big game kind of for the some of the underdogs in the team?
Honestly, I'd like to see that Joe Andreessen kid, obviously the local kid. I met him yesterday. He was at Dave and Adams, and I went up there and got a picture with him and got to meet him. So I'm excited for that kid and his opportunity. I've been an advocate of Justin Shorter since we drafted him. Haven't really seen him still, so I'd like to kind of see something out of him, if at all possible. Obviously, we got to see what's available in our backup quarterback. I mean, God forbid the heavens fall and Josh gets injured. Let's knock on fucking everything here. But that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see the defense still hold up nice. I want to, see what that linebacking core, what we got for backups and guys that are looking to step up next, man, because that position kind of really bothers me. I like our defensive line. I think those guys are going to be rock solid, but it's that secondary from the linebackers to the corners. We really need to fill those spots in. I almost think wouldn't hurt to try to convince Hyde to come back, man, to mentor, be a fill-in if we need him.
He's down. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he ain't asking for a shit ton of money or nothing like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure that kind of stuff, it's hard. Look at Lorenzo Alexander. He stuck around for a couple fucking years extra longer there for us. So, but I think, one thing I'm also really excited about, Jason, the offensive line. These guys have played next to each other with of course, with the absence of Mitch Morse, which that was well overdue. The guy had fucking 13 and a half concussions in one game. You know what I'm saying? Mitch Morse, I love you, buddy. But these guys played together, so they have that continuity and chemistry. We got Deion Dawkins extended. We have Spencer Brown had a pretty solid year last year. Played, I think, 100% of snaps. Osiris Torrance looking like an absolute boss at right guard.
Great pickup.
I just overall think the team is ready to go. We don't have, outside of Josh Allen, truly any superstars. Okay, no. And that's at this moment. That's outside.
I would say Miller. I would say Vaughn is probably the closest thing we've got.
No, but we're talking. Yeah, exactly. But that's outside of Bills Mafia. I'm saying people would be like, oh yeah, Josh Allen, Von Miller. That's all they could probably say. They probably said Stephon Diggs before, but not a lot of people said Gabe Davis. Not a lot of people say Khalil Shakir. People will start saying Dalton Kincaid, especially fantasy players out there.
Definitely.
And James Cook, obviously, but they're not at that superstar status yet. So it's right now, Josh and the boys versus Josh Allen and Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we have a collective group of guys that can go out there and produce. We have some decent. We don't have, like I said, elite depth or anything like that, but we have depth. If we can really see Andreessen fill in for Matt Milano just as best as he can and play somewhat like he did in Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be.
Even Dorian Williams. We need all those dudes. Bernard to step up, or we need.
He fucking smacks people, Dorian Williams. I think these guys are seeing this as an opportunity for me to take over that spot. Hey, right. And all respect to Matt Milano. I love Matt Milano, and I hope he has a speedy recovery and he's back for us and can play at the level he wants to play at. But it's an opportunity for guys to see a chance to step into a role like that. And sometimes it's the best thing that you can have for your team. If you guys are just going to tune in, you're live here on the Sit Down and right here on YouTube and Facebook. And make sure you're following, subscribed, and notifications turn on so you don't miss the Sit Down or live coverage of the Buffalo Bills or anything in relation to entertainment and all that stuff. So also this is available via audio podcast wherever you get your podcast the following day. Make sure you're following on there with your notifications turned on so you can hear this if you're unable to watch the live version of us right here. So Jason, man, it's been fun so far. Overall, what do you think the Bills are going to need to have happen to finally win a Super Bowl? Just you could just break it down into a full in-depth thing. You can give me one thing, it don't matter. What do you got?
One thing that I'm a little concerned about is our coach to really get us past that hump, man. We've had a couple of things in our way, and he just doesn't seem to put the killer instinct in. So I think that might be like if a term for it, killer instinct. We can't play to not lose. We need to definitely play to win, put the foot on the throat. Again, if these guys can gel well enough and find that continuity, I don't know, man. It's really, as much as I always am positive and want to root for them and say that every year is our year, I'm a little nervous just because there's been like a 25% mix up on our starting lineup. There's 25% new guys. That's huge. It's like when I was listening to the radio, I think top 5, top 6 in the league for changeover on your team, man. So I feel that's a huge obstacle to overcome is getting that continuity and that time together. And then again, the coach making the right decisions, man. Not to harp on the 13 seconds, but that was a coaching error. 100%, in my opinion, was a coaching error.
Well,
and then
you're 100% right about that. And I mean, obviously, we don't want to go into the 13 seconds because but like you make a great point. But I do believe, people talk about killer instinct with Sean McDermott. Yes, there are times he's got to have more of an aggressive stance, but at the same time, what if he's overly aggressive? Then what were we going to say? Be more conservative, you know what I mean? But I think that you can't blame Sean McDermott for a drop like this with Stephon Diggs. You can't blame him for the James Cook drop touchdown pass. There were just so many I watched this Facebook reel the other day. It said, like, it's showing Josh Allen's stats against Kansas City this past year in the playoffs. And like, there was a drop from Khalil Shakir, but it wasn't like a bad drop. He dove for the ball or whatever. And, boom, his yards would have been like over 300. And then Stephon Diggs catches that ball. He's over 400. And we got 4 touchdowns. Those things are exactly why I'm going to get into my point right here. We're going to play the video, Getting Saucy, because I'm going to get fired up here with you, Jason. I'm going to get you really introduced to how Sauce God gets about it. I'm going to tell you exactly what the Buffalo Bills have to do to overcome every obstacle and win a Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history and what we all absolutely deserve. So let's go ahead. Let's play a video of Getting Saucy, if I can find it. What the hell happened to it? What in the absolute hell? Well, that's
technology, right?
Oh, there it is.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Ice cold, nice, refreshing Labatt Blue on a fierce store behind J817.
It's a cold front, is what that is.
I'm fired up this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get you fired up. Bills Mafia, you want to hear me getting saucy this week? It's simple. Mac Jones and the New England Patriots, and also, too, the Miami Dolphins, and anybody that's got anything bad to say. Bills by $1 billion, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Bills. Oh, it's Sauce Guy about to get saucy up in here. You already know. It's all about the energy. It's all about the truth. And it's all about the entertainment for you guys out there right here in the sit down presented by Duff's Miss Wings and BuffaloSauceGod.com right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live at Buffalo Sauce God, and also available via audio podcast the following day after this airs. Now, make sure you're following, subscribe, notifications, turn on, all that good stuff. But let me tell you, Jason, all it's going to take for the Buffalo Bills is minimizing player mistakes. How many fucking drops I've watched, how many stupid penalties I've watched. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that we can't control that, aren't actual penalties, but minimizing player mistakes. And that's why I think the guys that we have now are ready to do that. Yeah, we have some young guys, we have some new guys, sure. But at the same time, it's a fresh start in a sense. But we're still ready to go. We're still ready to compete. And at the end of the day, this team might struggle to find its chemistry for a little bit, maybe to find its identity for a bit. Who knows? I don't think so. I think we have enough veterans there. I think we have enough of the core intact for what we want to not have that be a problem. But I'll tell you this. If we can minimize those player mistakes and Sean McDermott can just coach the way he's coached, we can win a Super Bowl. We definitely can get over the Kansas City Chiefs. We can get past the Baltimore Ravens. Whoever. We have Josh Allen. Anything is possible. We have a fresh-minded Josh Allen now who's back to his old goofy self, doing funny videos, talking about living at the stadium, with his hard hat on, how they let him live there for free, this and that. It's good to see that. But I'll tell you this, Bills Mafia. We have to understand It doesn't matter if we come out 0-3. Okay? You win the next 14 games, are you going to really fucking cry at the end of the season? No. It all matters about getting to the dance. You get to the dance, you got a chance. Okay? North Carolina State in the fucking men's tournament this last year. Look how far they got. You know why? Because they got to the dance. They had to go through a fucking tough path. They had to win the ACC tournament. They win that. They get in there. Boom. That's what I'm saying. As long as the Bills can get themselves in the playoffs, which at the end of the season, I like what the Bills are able to do because they have the experience. They have Josh Allen, something that Miami has not been able to necessarily do. And I'm not talking shit. I would be normally, but I'm not talking shit. This is a team that is primed to continue doing what it's doing in the AFC East. We might, lose a game here and there to the Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, whatever, because it's divisional. But we're still the best team in the division. We're one of the best teams in the conference, and we have one of the best quarterbacks in football who is ready to play and ball out. And there's guys that want to step up and be that number one guy on offense. Hell, Khalil Shakir could turn into fucking Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and be that much of a productive slot guy outside, whatever you need him to do. Yeah. Keon Coleman could go up and get you a fucking 50-50 ball. He'll probably make it 60-40. Dalton Kincaid will catch everything, right? As long as we trust one another, we play. And we don't care about the outside noise.
Sure.
Outside noise, player mistakes. Outside noise, player mistakes. You eliminate those two things, boom. I just honestly believe, Jason, we have everything it takes. We have the coach. We have the continuity. We have the fan base. Unless the NFL is truly fixed, I believe that we have a fucking chance. Who would have thought the Ravens would have won the fucking Super Bowl when they did? Who would have thought Joe Flacco was going to have that playoff run he had? Who would have thought the Giants 07 were to beat the Patriots? I actually did. I really did. If I was old enough to bet at that time, which I think it was like 14, I would have definitely thrown the house on the Giants. But
sure.
Jason, overall, man, I'm ready for football season. I'm pumped. It's good to be back here in the sit down. It's good to be back in talking Bills football and having something to talk about. So overall, man, leave me with a couple thoughts here before we go ahead and sign off here and get out of here.
I agree. Super excited for the season, man. I definitely have plenty of high hopes. I think the offense is going to be explosive. They definitely loaded them up with a lot of options and a lot of weapons. Let's just hope that Sean can make sure the defense, hopefully this Babbage dude is really ready to kind of, wrangle it in.
He does.
And then let's get it going, dude. I mean, I'm super excited nonetheless. Always got faith, always hoping for the best. That's all we can do right now, man.
And as always, man, go Bills. So, guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Your likes, your comments, your shares, all the above, and all the support over the years here in the sit down and myself. The Sauce Guy here with Jason Lake, who's going to be a co-host here on Friday nights. Jason, fun stuff, man. I really think Kate did a great job for your first time. And, I'm excited to talk more with you. And I'm also excited to hear more about the Zubas stuff. And, guys, this is going to be the team right here for your best of Buffalo Sports Podcast and everything that you guys need for entertainment. And I'm sure – I'm going to have a nickname for you probably by next show.
If it comes down to it, I mean, a nickname I typically go by is Modown.
Modown?
Modown, MOWDOWN. Stemmed from my video gaming days back in the day of fucking shit up on GoldenEye and mowing motherfuckers.
Modown. Yeah. You don't got to say anything more because you know why? When it's time for the Buffalo Bills to eat, it's the Buffalo Modown. Buffalo Modown. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, Jason. All right. So, hey, you guys are here with Sauce God and Modown. Right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live at Buffalo Sauce Guy, where you can find all my social media platforms. Make sure you're following, subscribe, and like. Notifications turned on. And also make sure to check out the website, buffalosauceguy.com, the home of Sauce Guy merch, the sit-down merch, and everything you need for the world of sports entertainment and daily entertainment. And also make sure to check out my guy with the Zuba Zone over there, Jason, who has got himself a great card, memorabilia, all the above things for the Buffalo Bills and Sabres, I believe, too, right?
Everything Buffalo sports, man. I do dabble in obviously some other things too, other teams and shit like that, of course, but the main focus is Buffalo sports, Bandits, Sabres, Bills, anything Buffalo oriented. Huh? What's that?
Fucking Bandits.
Oh, good. Hey, right. We got a championship.
Right. We should have a show from the Zuba Zone sometime.
We could definitely set up a show from here, bro. Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's all of that. But I also, I collect movies, music, wrestling things. I buy, sell, and trade here, so it's kind of add that aspect to it also. Vintage stuff. It's a nice mix of everything, honestly.
All right, man. I love it. So, hey, guys, this is Sauce God and Mo Down right here and the sit down presented by Duff Smith's Wings at BuffaloSauceGod.com. Live on Friday nights, usually around 6, 7 p.m. You never know. Hey, you might even see us on a different night of the week. You might see us on the weekend. We're definitely going to have some pregame coverages, too, as we get ready for the regular season for the Buffalo Bills here in 2024. So make sure you tune in with us next week. If you weren't able to catch this, tune in with the audio podcast. Wherever you may get your podcast is available the next day. So, from all of us here at the sit down, the game book, we say, God bless, go Bills. We'll see you next week. And as always, bolster the fuck up. We'll see you next week.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, baby.